live from the Silver Palm Resort and Spa here in Kilifi County. And once again, I am with Governor Gideon Mung'aro just to speak on a number of issues touching on the county and national matters as well. Thank you once again for joining us, Governor. Just very quickly, first of all, congratulations. You are the second county to launch the County Integrated Development Plan. That is quite a huge feat. And what does this mean for you?
It means a lot for me because, first of all, I thought, I realized that we are getting into a budget cycle, my first ever budget cycle, right. From 1st July. And there is no way that I would have had a budget without a plan for the county.
Right.
And that's why for me it was so urgent to make sure that we have the County Integrated Development Plan, so that when we have our budget passed by the Assembly and COB, then we can start going.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right. Talking about the matters of the county right now, let's begin with the healthcare sector. On Friday, I personally managed to go to the Malindi Sub-County Hospital and I got to see firsthand this cost-effective technology that, you know, they're employing there, something that is going to help many women in this county and especially reducing the maternal mortality of this, county. That is one step that we've seen your county undertake. Also, what I know is that there has been a remarkable milestone in Mariakani Sub-County conducting, in fact, the first spine surgery. I believe that was yesterday. Just talk to us about that and what this means for your plan in improving the healthcare sector and especially for the residents here in Kilifi.
I must say, among the agendas in my CIDP, the most crucial agenda I've taken really on since I came into office is healthcare. I have been in several exhibitions in Europe, in the Emirates, on medical issues, because I believe that when you have healthy Kilifians, then we will develop this county. And for me, healthcare is one of the main agendas. The things you saw in Malindi, and you must have seen also in Malindi, we are renovating the hospital. I know you'll get many questions, people saying maybe we haven't been here, but I've been more or less to all the hospitals in Kilifi County, making sure that we have the right equipment, we have the right diagnosis equipment, because one of the things you have in health is that many times people have been treated by saying, oh, I feel have a headache or have a stomach ache. Then maybe you are treated wrong because you're not diagnosed. So one of the things we want to really do as a county is to make that the diagnostic element is really taken seriously. And we have been out there. I've gone out with the doctors. I've been to the Medica, Germany, 3 months when I came into office. I've been to the Arab Health in March. And we have talked with many, many partners to see how we could go off from buying equipment for the hospital, but using the placement like the one the national government did, but do it as a county.
Because it's been quite a huge challenge when it comes to the infrastructure itself, and of course you know there's already constraints when it comes to allocation of monies to the counties, even in those different sectors like health. So I can imagine that must have been quite a challenge for you as well when you entered office.
Yes, it was, and especially when it came to medicine, I had gone around during my campaign and promised the people of Kilifi that in the first 100 days I will make sure that we have medicine on all the facilities. Okay. Then coming into office, I realized we have debt with KEMSA, and then the hospitals were basically empty. Then I managed to pay the debt with KEMSA and managed to get over 50 trucks of medicine to supply to all the facilities, 150 facilities within the county. Then all of a sudden I got another shock, like, wow, there's no stores for the medicine. I visit Mariakani Hospital, I go to Rabai, I go to Gans, Bamba, and all these places, and find that the staff have to put the medicine within the wards because they have no stores. So now we pulled a bit back and said, how do we do it?
Okay.
Because now when you leave the medicine within the hospitals also, the theft of medicine was also rampant, and then we decided now, what do you do?
Right.
In the next 2 weeks, I'll be launching the new ambulances, and also I will be launching...
In fact, that's a promise you'd made.
Yes, yes. And
so this is happening next week?
Yes, yes.
Right.
And also we are not only launching ambulances, because one of the things I did in my first inaugural speech in the county assembly is that I issued an executive order to make sure that all the ambulance services in Kilifi County are for free. Ambulances are used for emergency services. You don't use an ambulance when somebody is a patient who can either drive themselves to hospital or they can walk to hospital. Right. So you can imagine if you yourself here fall sick today, and then somebody tells you you have to pay before the ambulance takes you to hospital. So we have a free service of ambulances. We have also bought now a truck. I will be launching also a medical supply truck, which will be now supplying all the facilities within the county, because one of the things, as I have said, we realized that we didn't have enough storage out there. So some drugs were also making their way out of the dispensaries or the health centers. So now we'll be supplying every time we have a shortage of the drugs. Right. We just started implementing the EMR system in the Kilifi hospital, which will be done in all the major hospitals before it goes to the small dispensaries. We have quite a number, about 18 of them already connected. The EMR will be doing several things. We'll improve our revenue collection. We'll be able to track drugs. We'll be able to have records of patients. Right. As it is now, every patient has to carry a small notebook. They have to buy a book for 100 shilling when they come to the hospital, so that they can get the doctor to write on it. But what does it do to the people, the residents or the Mananchi of the county? Right. Most of the time, our pregnant woman will leave Watamu and coming to Kilifi hospital. Then in the middle of the journey, they realize they don't have their book. So either they have to go back and get it, or come another day, because the doctor will not be able to know how the patient have been doing unless they refer to that book. The EMR will have all the records, medical records. When you appear in Mariakani with your ID card and you have been in Malindi Hospital the last week, the doctor will be able to know in your records what you are treated for in Malindi, what type of medicine were you given.
Those are some of the services you're trying to streamline.
To streamline.
All right.
But it will also help us on drugs pilferage, because that system will also on a dashboard be able to tell you that there were these 20 patients treated on diabetes. The medicine which was received from KEMSA or from the suppliers was X amount. These 20 patients have been given certain doses, and the balance of drugs is this much.
All right.
Yeah.
I want us to move on from that, because that's one of the issues. But then, even in terms of your promise to service to the people, you've launched something called the County Mashinani Program. Yes. And you promised that you will be making a physical visit to the people of Kilifi. Over the past month that you've been in office, have you managed to do that? Has it worked? Or is it just, was it just recently launched? Is it something that is part of your plans?
Yes, I promised County Mashinani, and we have done already the first County Mashinani. County Mashinani will be done quarterly in this county. We have had the first County Mashinani just about 3.5 months ago. We'll be doing the second County Mashinani at the end of this month, beginning of August. That will be our second quarter in office, and our second Mashinani in office. And we'll be doing this every 4 months. We have different teams.
Does it have any impact?
It is.
When you speak to the people directly?
Yes, it does. We had the County Mashinani, and then we had a retreat with all the CCs and the chief officers in Diani for 4 days. And every department every team of the County Mashinani was able to present what they saw firsthand, the conversation with the members of the public. And members of the public are very happy with it, and we are going to do this often. What do they do to the people? We will be able to know if the projects we are doing have impacts to the people. We will be able to know. We will be able to know not very late in the leadership that we are in our running of this county, that it has taken us 3 years to know that there's somewhere where there's a dispensary which was not finished, or there's an ECD which was not done. And that's what we encountered in the county machinery. You go to places where we have like over 100 projects which were done 8 years ago, and they are not complete. So the county machinery is all the teams. We have 9 teams, 1 team led by myself, 1 by my deputy, and then 7 teams in the 7 sub-counties. Between me and my deputy, we crisscross all the sub-counties in the county machinery. The first one we did for 2 weeks. We hope the other one will be 2 weeks, then probably go for 10 days, depending on how effective it becomes. But this is all to make sure that we are hands-on, and we can see we launch the project, and we are able also to go back in 4 months and see the progress of the project.
Sort of track it up to the very end. Yeah. All right.
I've also started the governance delivery unit, so it will go hand in hand.
All right. Speaking on that, is it helping you in any way in terms of revenue collection, because you're speaking to the people directly? Because I do know that Kilifi government, by the way, has surpassed, if I'm getting this right, and you can correct me, 1.1 billion revenue collection target for the first time in a decade, right? Yeah. And this is happening at a time when a majority of counties are really, really struggling to meet their revenue targets.
Yes, I know. With the county in the last 10 years, have been collecting between 700 million and 700, and maybe the most they went was 800. But this was due to many things. When I came into the county, I found out that we have many either casual workers or volunteers collecting money.
Right.
If a volunteer collects money, somebody comes every day with a matatu from Malindi to Kilifi to collect money, and they don't ask you a shilling.
That you sort of need to
So what we did is we got rid of all the volunteers and made sure that we get the P&P staff to collect revenue. Did a bit of reshuffle in that department. We have since bought over 5 brand new pickups for making sure that we boost our revenue collection team, mobility, and motorbikes. So we are right on point to make sure that we check everything. We get revenue from constructions. We get revenue from cess. We get revenue from many things, but most of there was no transport. The finance department had no means of going out to collect revenue.
And you have a new inspectorate team, I believe?
We have a new inspectorate team. We have empowered them with cars. And these cars, most of them, which have now revamped and made them inspectorate team, were cars which had been actually stolen from this county by former officers of this county. And I was able to track them through the DCI, and we got them back, and we created now the inspectorate team. And we're going to empower it even more. Well, I've just started building a county court, renovating a county court within the chambers here in Kilifi. I was given one house by the judiciary. I'm doing a county court, should be ready in the next 2-3 weeks. And
which will essentially, what is the intended purpose of this county court?
The county court will basically be bringing the offenders, the people who don't pay rates, the people who don't pay licenses for their businesses. They will be able to, at the moment what happens is somebody is given a bond to go to the normal court. Then the courts are so packed that maybe you have to give them a 2 months a date. Then you don't even know when after they leave the court whether they have paid or not. The county court, what will do is, first of all, the revenue is belongs to the county. We share a certain percentage with the judiciary, but the money comes to us, the fines and all necessary. But what does it do? When you get somebody who has not paid rates or their licenses in the morning, you can take them to court in the afternoon, the same day, because you have a magistrate dedicated to to the county affairs.
Right.
So that will boost us also our revenue, a big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
And with that, you are earning revenue in that sense, but you've also launched something called a Wezesha Fund. I think it used to be called Mbegu Fund, if I'm not wrong. You've now renamed it to Wezesha Fund. It's a 200 million interest-free. Really, how's the uptake? Do you think it's going to work?
Yeah, it will work. What happened is, when I came in, I found Mbegu Fund.
Right.
The reason why it has gone to 320 million, this is money which has not been paid back to the county. Because I think the members of the public also believe that, first of all, I think, for me, I thought like maybe the name Mbegu thought they will just get seeds and get away with it. So we have changed it since to a Wezesha Fund. We have changed the whole law in the county assembly. We have made sure that we advertised we tendered the Wezesha Fund, and it attracted over 15 financial institutions. Many banks in Kenya applied. The 2 banks which we picked eventually, we had an agreement, because we don't want only to give the 200 million. We wanted an institution which will partner with us to boost the kitty. And what happened is, after scrutiny and the applications we got, we settled on KCB Bank and Rafiki Microfinance Bank. We give them 1 shilling, they give us 4. So this fund is, in reality, is not 200 million, it's now 1 billion. Because every bank we have given 100 million, they give us 400 million. So 200, and we get 4 shilling for every shilling, then we have 1 billion in total. Our 200 plus the 800 from the banks. What we are charging only, there's no interest, all what we are charging is management fee for this fund. How does the bank help us? And why is it the bank in? Because they lend us the money, and also at the same time, they help us the collection, the recovery of the funds. And all what you pay is 4% management fee. So if you get 1 million shilling, you pay 40,000. And you don't need to go and look for the 40,000. We'll process your loan, and once before you are paid, your 40,000 shilling will remain behind, and you get 960. Number 1. Number 2, the old Mbegu Fund system was only given to groups. Now we have been able to make the new Wezesha Fund to deal with a few things. 1, you can apply as an individual, number 1. Number 2, you can be given money by KCB or Rafiki Bank if you have an LPO or an NSO, not only from the county, but from CDF. If you have a job, you as a Kilifian, and you have no money, you can go to Wezesha Fund with your LPO. Through the bank, you will be able to get that money. Right. Because one of the contracts we'll do, especially as a county, and we encourage all the other institutions who have projects to be done by the community of Kilifi, is that the final contract you sign under the bank account, bank which has given you the money. The bank account is there, so the moment the county government pays you, will pay you through that bank account, and they will be able to deduct all the dues they have, and you go back with your profit and do other businesses.
Right.
That's the whole idea.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
right.
And we make sure that many banks were coming with giving us interest, but me and you, we know when we sit in our offices, many bank salespeople come to us and ask, "Oh, you have to open an account with me because I have a challenge at work. I need to open more accounts." So why were we able to reach here? Because the most important thing is all these members who will take loans will open accounts with these banks. Yeah? And that's already business. Because once you go and withdraw money, you either pay 30 shilling fee or this. That's how they make their money. And the management fund, which we manage both the county and the banks.
All right. And Governor, we'll come back to you in just a moment. I do understand that we have to take a break here on NTV Weekend Edition. We will have that break and see you in a short while.
is looking at you. He's seeing a millionaire. He's seeing a president. He's seeing a businessman.
Join us for a mega supernatural restoration crusade at the Tononoka grounds from 20th to 23rd July starting 2 p.m.
A little more than 50 years ago, a group of cooperators came together to plant a seed. From these strong roots, and with God's blessings, that seed today is a strong, big tree. The Cooperative Bank has grown to serve not only the needs of the cooperative movement, but also by helping unlock new opportunities. The Kingdom Bank enables the growth and prosperity of a rich diversity of Kenyans across our great nation and beyond. Through innovative products, harnessing new technologies, and by striving to meet and exceed the needs of our customers in a fast-changing world. And even though we now serve more than just the cooperative movement, we take a lot of pride in our roots. We are the Cooperative Bank. We are you.
Blueband peanut butter, made with 100% pure peanuts and a good source of omega-6. Grow healthy and happy kids with Blueband peanut butter. Available in 200 grams, 400 grams, and 800 grams. Buy a pack today.
How do you keep your toilets clean?
I use normal detergent and bleach for washing.
The detergent and bleach cleanless can leave behind yellowness, rust, and germs.
Harpic's 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach, and kills 99.9% illness-causing germs in your toilet, including the COVID-19 virus.
My shirt, a toss of lavender, and a world of freshness.
Wash your clothes with Toss Lavender to leave your clothes with a lasting, irresistible freshness.
The Employment and Labor Relations Court, ELRC, is marking 10 years of judicial service delivery. The court was established with specific mandates to hear and determine disputes relating to employment and labor relations. The court will host the first Employment and Labor Relations Annual Symposium and Exhibition, ELRAIS, from July 17th to 20th, 2023 at the Kenyatta International Convention Center. The symposium will bring together stakeholders to reflect and share experiences as well as shape the way forward for the courts. The conference theme is The Place of Employment and Labor Relations Court in Promoting Social Justice and Economic Prosperity. During the symposium and exhibition, different sector players will share their experiences with a view of enhancing positive growth and harmony in the field of employment and labor relations. Employment and Labor Relations Court, enabling social transformation through access to justice.
Actually, I don't want to go between the two of you, but Natalia's starting to see that you're acting very differently. As if you were someone else. She said that this is not the first time that she felt this way because this also happened when you switched places with Rodrigo. I'm going to ask you to leave because I don't want to talk to you.
Please, Irene, I beg you, just give me a chance to.
You see, my daughter Irene is obsessed with that guy. I believe Tadeo Vargas is taking advantage of my daughter's kindness. That guy is terrible, but Irene does not realize that.
Head over heels.
We are calling you to be part and parcel of the fastest growing satellite town in this city. We are developing and building a beautiful Achievers Gate. This is a chance that you cannot afford to miss. Call this number 0790 300 300.
All right. right, and thank you so much for staying with us. Coming to you live from Kilifi County, still with Governor Gideon Mungaro here. But you know, as we wind up on this conversation, very quickly, Governor, just just keeping tabs with what is happening in the county. Quite an unfortunate incident that has been unraveling here as well in terms of the Shakahola cult deaths that has tainted the image of the county. How are you reeling from that? What is the county doing? And also just getting your remarks on what you feel would work for you as a governor moving forward, at least in the next 4 years in office.
First of all, I want to really forget this is of Shakahola, and I'm very grateful that we have partnered with NTV for the classic golf yesterday in Malindi. We have been doing this with the golf, with the Kenya Open in Vipingo, the motorsport we had the other day, many other issues just to get the people of Kilifi County and Kenya off this negative publicity of Shakahola. What we are doing is, and I forgot to say earlier on the health issue, that one of the things we are doing is we have started off our paramedics, which I'm going to launch next week with the ambulances. We have passed the CHV bills, the Community Health Volunteers Bill. You know, the primary health care is one of our big agenda as a county. And these people who are working for free, you know, they're the ones who help us in all the villages. So we have managed to pass a bill already in the assembly to make sure that they get stipends. I know the national government has a similar plan, which we spoke in the summit, but we have already passed our own as Kilifi County, make sure they have stipends. So we'll have paramedics. So instead of having the nurses moving out of the hospital to go and help in terms of disaster, we have a paramedics bill. Also, we have, to improve healthcare, we have recruited 12,000 people under NHIF now. We have put a budget of another 60 million this financial year. That's what we did in supplementary when we came in. Another 60 million to recruit another 20,000 people under NHIF. Going forward, we are also looking forward to start, we have bigger programs on youth. We have a program on water, agriculture. Tomorrow I'll be launching fire engines. You know, the last month we lost few hotels in Watamu. Tourists, some tourists were injured, one died. Tomorrow I'll be launching fire engines. We are starting a new disaster center with all the facilities we can. We have partnered with the German embassy and the city of Düsseldorf on training our firefighters. That's part of the things we are doing. We are doing something on agriculture, and on Tuesday I'll be launching dairy cows to farmers. On tourism, we are basically trying to make sure that we have the right environment. All right,
thank you. Sorry, Governor, about that.
We are trying to make sure that we revamp tourism by doing all efforts, targeting sports and conferences. Kilifi has been very busy the last months with conferences. We had the biggest conference in Kilifi here, town with Kipra, the last weeks, and we had the 50 years of Action Aid celebrated in Malindi, where 50 countries were represented. So we believe the conference tourism and the sport is will be able to get us off the woods, but also making sure that we have clean environment. We have a big project this financial year to clean up Malindi, Kilifi. We are going to have 3 new municipalities: Watamu, Mutwapa, Mazeras, Mariakani. What are we doing to have the clean environment? We are moving all the bandas you see in town, replacing them with solarized containers. It will help the traders on 2 things: having clean environment in town, but also the traders do not have to carry their cargo every evening home because they are just serving in a banda. They can lock everything in their containers. Yeah. So those are many of the things we are doing for the youth. We are building a 10,000 stadium in Kilifi town, Uwanja Water. We have already started the last weeks. Also on...
Very quickly, Governor. Indeed. Finally, yes.
Yeah. And I think we are basically have a plan on the major issues, which being water, which is the biggest problem in this county. and we have put it priority on water.
Okay.
We have revamped the wells, the boreholes where they had died, places like Kazandani in Magarini. We have revived some of the boreholes, and they have been able to make the difference that when people now can access water.
Okay.
Yeah, and we are trying also to pump some of, we are doing many boreholes around. We have gotten some really good results somewhere near Kaloleni, where we can start pumping solarized water. Yeah, the non-water revenue is a big issue also in this county. And what we are doing is soon we are going to start the smart meters, where you will use tokens.
Okay,
yes?
Thank you, Governor.
Yeah. So that when you don't pay, then you can get out of your bathroom with a soap because you have not topped up your meter.
And I feel there's still so much, more we need to have around in Kilifi.
We'll do another time again.
And there's indeed a huge plan that you have for the people of Kilifi. Thank you so much. I apologize. I think the cold has gotten to me a little bit. I'm not used to a different weather, but thank you so much, Governor Gideon Mungaro, and for hosting us in this great county of yours. Indeed, a beautiful, beautiful county it is. But let me hand it over now to Smriti Vidyarthi to take us through some other stories as well.